When you start an agency, you do need money, but you don't need what you think you need. If you think you need a lot, it's going to hold you back. Hey, smart people, come on to my YouTube channel, Stenell the Money Therapist. Every episode that you hear, my podcast, right here, you will see me in the flesh talking about the same exact topic. See you there. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell.
Six years ago, my wife took nothing but an ideal and faith and turned it into a multi-million-dollar business with multiple streams of income. As a woman possessed, she overcame all obstacles and created multiple streams of wealth that has impacted our family for generations to come. From mental health professional to therapist to author to CEO, she is a constant reminder of the grace of God over her life. Get ready to listen to and take notes from Stenell, the money therapist, as she schools you on money, entrepreneurship, and life skills that was not taught. No more excuses. Wake up!
Thank you, Tony, for that introduction. Welcome back to No More Excuses, Wake Up, where we talk about money, entrepreneurship, and life skills that was not taught. I am your host, Stenell Myers, also known as Stenell, the Money Therapist. This week, we are discussing entrepreneurship, of course, because I'm on a roll about starting a government agency, a healthcare agency, a nonprofit after-school agency, and I just want to continue to talk about that so I can make sure that I'm giving you all the information that you need. The topic for today is, do you need startup money to start a government contract agency in your field? I know that there are so many people that don't know how to start when it comes to starting any type of agency, even if it's a childcare in your home and you have a daycare inside your home. I remember back in the day, even starting that in your home, a lot of people didn't know about it. There were people that did know about it. It was certain classes and certifications that you had to get, and you could have childcare in your home. My son actually went to a daycare, private daycare inside someone's home. And the benefit with a private daycare in someone's home, any of you that is interested in opening up a private daycare center, that's not my field, that's not my niche, that's my angel's niche that I always talk to you about, my mentor. But I do know that it is more intimate than having a daycare center with a lot of kids. And it's really just getting to really know the provider and trusting the provider. But now there's so many different things, the ring and security and all kinds of things out there that maybe you can have them incorporate if you're looking for childcare for your own child, or if you want to incorporate in your own agency. I have a lot of people contacting me as vendors, and they want me to buy their product for my agency. And my agency for my after school program, I do have a childcare license. And any children that is under the age of 12, I know for a school setting, you have to have a childcare license, but you still have to have a childcare license and certifications if you open up a daycare center in your home. Now, this was not the purpose. I was not even talking about daycare centers or childcare centers, but maybe I helped somebody. I'm really talking about, but do you need money? Do you need money for that? And the answer for me, for what I have personally been through, I don't know anybody that you know or what they've been through, but for the answer for me is startup money. No. In my field, with my contract that I have with the developmental disabilities in the state of New Jersey, what I needed right away was a location to interview. Remind you, I had two businesses that I was starting at the same time, two agencies. Joy Making a Difference, the after school program, and the Second Touch, the support coordination agency. I had no location, so I was doing interviews at Starbucks for Joy Making a Difference, and then by the time it came time to do interviews for a Second Touch, I already had a building that I was renting out. It was $400 a month. It was a lawyer. He was so nice. The answer to your question is yes. Depending on how you're starting your business, it will depend on if you need money and how much. I can't give you a number, but I can give you certain suggestions. When I first started with, and I'm just going to talk about both of the agencies, I had no money at all. I did get a loan for, I think it was, yes, I did. It was $2,300 or $3,000. And that was a great help because I was able to use that money to pay for maybe like 2 months of rent, and that would have been $800. And then I had to have money set aside. Definitely needed Jeannie, my administrative assistant, my HR person, my everything. Her titles always change. And at the time, I needed her because I had to get her to go to classes to learn certain trainings that you had to have an administrator. I didn't have much money. I had just enough that I needed to get started. And once I was able to get started and land that building, renting it out, it was just maybe 700 square feet. It wasn't much, but it was enough for Jeannie and I. Then I was able to have interviews with both of the agencies. But before I had anything, no, I didn't have any startup money. Do you need it? You probably did, but I didn't have it. That was not an excuse not to get started. I want to make that clear. I didn't have any startup money. All I had was a dream, a wish, and I had a dream from God. And I took that and I ran with that. I ran with that like God came and sat on my bed, grabbed my hand and told me this is what was going to happen in the future. And I trusted my dream and my faith. It just made my faith just even go even further. I just ran for it. Startup money, depending on yes and no. I would say that a lot of people try to just, I need this. I need $1,000 a month building. No, you don't. No, you don't. Go to Starbucks and get started. Interview there. It depends on what it is that you're trying to do. If you're trying to open up a daycare center in your home and you need toys and puzzles and different things like that, your supplies, then you won't go to the thrift store to get those certain things. Then you'll go on Amazon. You'll try to go to, Sam's Club, get bulks. But startup money depends on who you are and where you are with money. And this all goes along with, honestly, what I am and what I do, because I talk about money, entrepreneurship, and life skills. And where you are with money is going to be everything about your business and how you run your business. If you are bad with money, then I don't know, maybe, and when I say bad, overspending, maybe you're looking for a building and you don't need that. I was already about 2 years in. It was a young lady that wanted to rent right across the hall from me. She had a great business mindset of what she was doing and how she was trying to help. But where the money was coming from to pay, she wasn't ready yet. So I will say this to you. If you don't have money that is, and you know that it will within a month or two, if you can't hold it down in the interim, and say you have government contracts and you already did your due diligence, you're starting, you're getting clients, and you know the money, it will eventually come in. It do take time. Sometimes when you paid, and if you bill whatever your parties are, our parties is Medicaid, we can bill weekly. We don't bill weekly, we bill monthly. It's just our preference. If you know when your money is coming in, then I suggest that you will start slow and let your money gradually flow. If you can take 60 days and say, okay, I know that I saved this much money and I can pull it, it will depend on how much everything will cost, your startup costs, as far as if you do need a building, if you don't, what supplies you need, if you're a t-shirt company, if you're making cupcakes in your house. It all depends. If you are walking dogs and you want to, now you're walking dogs, you want to have a building for a doggy daycare and you don't want to do it in your house. I don't know what it is that you do, but I do know that you need to think strategically and really learn about money. Money is just the key to anything that you start. When you are starting these agencies in whatever field that you're in, you do need money, but you don't need what you probably think that you need, because if you think you need a lot, it's only going to hold you back. I didn't have anything. There was nothing that I could possibly do but go somewhere that was free. I got the idea to interview in Starbucks because I always used to go to Starbucks and read. I always used to go to Starbucks, do work. And not that I didn't have a computer at home in the office, but I just wanted that atmosphere to get out and get away. That's where I got the idea. I would see people in their meeting and I was like, oh, meeting at Starbucks. And it really was real. It was real. When I interviewed a person over the phone and we would set the interview via email or however, I would let them know we're meeting at Starbucks. I do not right now have a location. This is a startup company. And that was that. At the time, I probably now would think too deep, but at the time, I didn't have time to think deep. I did have a person stand me up. I drove all the way to a Starbucks location from my area. Didn't have a Starbucks and still don't at this time. And I drove 45 minutes, and on my way there, the person was not coming and told me. I still went to Starbucks. Was just on fire then, and I'm still on fire. Can't nobody dream for you. You're the only person that can dream for yourself. I hope that I can be clear, letting you know that when you're starting up any type of government agency, it is what goes in what it is that you need. If you thinking you're going to pay yourself, no. So startup money will not be for that. But I did take out a loan, and it was through Action, ACCISION, something like that. The bank denied me at first, my bank, of course. That's why I'm leaving them. I'm getting too personal. FYI, I went and talked to the branch manager, and she gave me a listing of banks or outside parties that they do give loans to small startup businesses, and I was able to get a loan through ACN. That's what I call it. And it's based out, their headquarters is in New York City. I did everything online. It planned out. I paid them back within a year and a half, and they kept trying to see if I wanted more money, but it did plan out, and it was a small amount of money, but it was needed. And I remember when I was actually in a training for my after school program for Joy, and I was in a training trying to, on our breaks, trying to fill out the paperwork for the loan for a second touch. It's crazy. I was just like in this biggest beast mode that I can't even imagine. I was like on high. I was high with these agencies. Like, I mean high on agencies. Seriously. Trying to get these businesses built. Didn't know when, how, what it was going to look like. I didn't know nothing. I was just walking one foot in front of the other. Startup money depends on you. What it is that your niche is in, or what it is your field is in. But you don't need money for an EIN number. Let's do the basics. When you're starting, for your entity, you need about $50. I don't know if it went up to do your entity, whether it's a LLC, S Corp, C Corp. To open up a bank account, you do need to put at least $25 in there. So I'm already at about $100. Okay, we spend that on dinner, right? All right, so there you go. There's your business. You're eating it every night, getting started. For that, yes. But anything else, I would say do your interviews at Starbucks, do your interviews at a coffee shop. Maybe talk to the owner first, see if you can go in the back, or just openly do it at a coffee shop location. That worked. It really worked. For me, libraries, I don't know if libraries are open anymore. I have a contract with a library and it's not open because of COVID. It did not open back up. I'm just trying to get you to think outside the box. My church, I actually used a part of the church and I did 2 interviews there. Wherever I was able to interview, I was interviewing that. Some people may thinking, it's a little sketchy to interview at a Starbucks or a church, but make sure that you put in the description when you are looking for people. Make sure you say start a company when you're looking on whatever that you are looking for applicants for. I will get more in detail on those different sites. Put start a company, brand new agency, and then flow with your details. That's what I did, and that's my truth. You do need money, but not a lot in your niche or your field. And when I say money, might be dinner money, or it might be like me, I had to take out a loan. It depends what it is, but I will not break the bank. Going back to that story, when I did see that young lady, I just thought that she had two parts, 2 rooms, and her rent was $700. Mine was $400 because I had 1 room. In my opinion, I thought she was just biting off more than she can chew because she didn't have any money coming in. This was money coming out of her pocket. And the first rule, do not spend money out of your pocket that you didn't already save for to start your business. I tell everyone that is starting their business that when you're working for other people, make sure that you open up a business bank account in your business name and that you can funnel those checks. That if you're doing private duty as a nurse, whatever it is that you're doing, and say, okay, I'm doing private duty. This is my thing. Make sure your private duty is in a business name and not your personal name. It is so important for you to have a business and talking about how the structure of a business, because now you can live your life a little bit more freely. And I'm talking about vacations and certain benefits that you get as being a business owner. Let's say you do a service for me for Joy Making a Difference. I write you a check. This is a true story. Someone did a service for me for 2 months, came to the school, spoke to my students, and they was actually doing a course for them. I would write them the check and told them to put this in their business name. If you don't have a business, I told them exactly what they needed to do in order to start their business. So now when I give them that check, they put that check in their business account. They see that now there is a transaction from one business to a new one, which is a startup. So there are so many different ways that I try to get even contractors, and I just try to give them information and school them in areas of when they try to start a business and how it is doable, because it was the same exact thing for me. My angel would write me a check. I would take the check from her business. I would do self-esteem groups for her in 2 of her schools. And then I would take that check, I would put it in my account. And it was a business because I was actually contracting, and I had all my paperwork that I needed. I had to prove that I was basically a vendor myself. And then when I got into another school, I was ready and set. Any paperwork that was needed, I was able to provide, and I was able to show them that I was a reputable business. And then when they would send the check through the Board of Education, it was on and popping then. So by the time I met the grant writer, the grant writer did give me that connect. So by the time the grant writer was ready to write the grant, because I needed 3 years, that I was proven that I was already, me personally working in that field, I was set. And so before I let you go, I want to just make something clear. The topic is, do you need startup money to start a government contracted agency in your field or in your niche, or any type of agency or whatever it is that you're trying to do in or out of your home? And startup money for one person is not the same for another. And I just want to be clear, because I just ran into so many people that didn't start. One person didn't start because she did not do her due diligence in researching insurance for her business. And that's why she didn't start. Saying that, it costs so much money and I can't afford it. And I'm like, general liability insurance, are we on the same page? It's not. And let's just say it's $2,000 a year. Let's just say that. You don't have to pay $2,000 at once. It's monthly payments. And again, you don't do anything to get started if you already did not start saving, or you already don't have something coming in. So when I just said that I used to get checks that came in, those checks that came in was so when I needed to get things such as insurance and stuff like that, it was able to carry me over before those contracts was coming in. I was out here hustling in the streets, making contacts, building relationships with other people that had after school programs. So that way, when I did get paid, I was using that money now for what I needed for my own. I was working for other people that had their government contracts. I didn't have mine, but I was a contractor getting paid. So that way, when I did get mine, that I was able to pay for things such as liability insurance for both my after school program and my healthcare agency, because it's needed. When you are starting agencies, it is up to you to know the fundamentals of what you need for your business. The contracts are going to, the upper people with the contracts, they are going to give you the fundamentals of how to run the business, not running your business standpoint, but how to run it when it comes to the client. So whatever it is in the field that you're doing, and it will help you with that as far as the structure of the work involved, the products in the business, the technical things that you need to do in the business with clients, and the policies and the procedures and the community aspects, all of that. But when it comes to actually running your business and what you need, and accountants and software, payroll companies and insurance, you're not going to get that from who you get the contract with. That is all on your own. The only way that I can make you think is that an artist, someone that is a rapper, you hear a lot that rappers go to jail for not paying their taxes. So it's the same thing, that they may have an accountant, but it is still their responsibility to make sure that their taxes are paid, not the accountants. Although they're paying that accountant, they have to make sure that it was processed through the IRS. They still have accountability. And that's the same thing with you. When you're starting your agencies, you still have to have an accountability of the structure and what is needed to be done, and all the paperwork and legal things, that everything that you need in order to make sure that your agencies are safe and sound. So that is also important. We talk about money a lot of times. Do you need startup money? But you also need the knowledge to start your businesses, to start your agencies as well. So I hope that this really helped you. That, again, just to reiterate, when you are starting, that I don't want you going out there and spending money that you don't need to spend to say you have a building or whatever it is that you're doing. Starting off, if you can get some type of startup loan, and I will do a video on that, an episode on that, or if you can save, I think that is the best way to go, because now this is what I have in a pot. This is what I'm going to use, and we're going to have to be very conservative. I will not recommend you getting a startup, anything. Start really, 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 really small. I was looking at a YouTube video, and the young lady in Atlanta, she has Slutty Vegan. She's slaying it out there, slaying it. She has buildings and different restaurants, but when she first started in a kitchen, and she was renting that kitchen, and she had people coming to her, then it went to a food truck. She started small and she gradually built, and that's all that I'm telling you to do. And for me, I started off with a 600, 700 square feet, paying $400 a month. Then I got something larger, still renting. Not happy about that because I don't like the rent. Still renting. And I got something larger with 2,000 square feet because my companies grew. And with my clientele, sometimes, and it's rare, but sometimes the families want to come in and they want to sign the paperwork rather than my staff going to them, because we all work remotely. And that's another one when you work remotely too. It's just a lot. When you work remotely, do you need a building? And although my business was remotely, I needed, because I had two agencies at once, and I needed to be with my administrator assistant. We needed to work together. It's a lot, but you have to start from somewhere. And now my end is I'm going to purchase a home, so that way I can be able to have my business, and then another part, so when I'm traveling back and forth, I can be able to sleep there, and I can have my business at the bottom and running for my staff to come in, because it's just my staff that come in, and my agency, they come in once a week and they do training, get their work done, because it is remotely. I just wanted to make that clear, and I just wanted to let you know that don't worry about money. Worry about having the strategic goals and having plans in order to get it done, because when you focus on money, you'll never have enough at the time when you're focusing on it. Don't focus on it, just be about it and just do it. No more excuses. Wake up. Thank you for listening to No More Excuses, Wake Up. If you love the show, please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes or Spotify. To learn more about me and my different agencies and what I do, go to StenellMyersEnterprises.com. While you're there, check out Money Therapy Institute and watch my video where you will see me doing a little acting, showing you how I fought and kicked down closed doors. You can also click on Stenell the Money Therapist and get my free budget spreadsheet. And of course, you can email me at contact@StenellTheMoneyTherapist.com. I'm also on social media, on Facebook at Stenell the Money Therapist and Instagram at Stenell the Money Therapist. No more excuses. Y'all know what y'all need to do. Wake up. Hey, smart people. I have a 3-month one-on-one personal or business coaching program. As you all know, I paid off $50,000 in debt in 1 year. I will teach you how I stayed out of debt using my burner method and personalized spreadsheet I created to fit my lifestyle and keep me on track. You will learn how to understand your money communication style using my financial treatment plan. Also, if you own a small business and you feel stuck with cash flow or feel disorganized, I teach business owners and self-employed entrepreneurs such as yourself to financially maximize your money, build wealth using your business income, and retire working on the business while your business continues to run, such as myself. You can book a call with me. The link is in the show notes.